So here is my 12 Days of Christmas little book, little tag book. I'm going to be using this one as a Christmas present for my mum. On each of the tags inside, I'm going to write a reason why I love my mum. I've got these beautiful glass beads on here. I've got a magnet closure. I've left the magnet exposed. I'm not concerned about having that hidden. I've got a little pocket there I might do something with. And then inside, oh, there are two pockets I forgot to put on here. There's a pocket I can put on here and a pocket I can put on the back. I'll go ahead and do those in a minute. We've got 12 tags that correspond with what's going on for that day. 2 turtle doves, a little tag up there. All the tags I've put eyelets on, and these little bits of ribbon which match this gorgeous ribbon on the side here for the spine and the stitching. 3 French hens. Look at this artwork. I absolutely adore this. 4 calling birds, and I had to do some research when I was putting this together and making this design, and the 4 calling birds are apparently most likely to be blackbirds. So they're blackbirds. We've got 5 gold rings. I've got a belly band on this one. 6 geese are laying. Look at that, beautiful. 7 swans are swimming. I think I particularly love the swan. I like this spread altogether. I like the fact that we've got 2 white birds here on this double page spread. And the ribbon is the actual stitching to keep it all together. And then we've got 8 maids are milking, like that. And we've got 9 ladies dancing. Lovely. 10 lords are leaping. I love that image. 11 pipers piping, and 12 drummers drumming. And like I say, on the back of each of these tags is going to be a reason I love my mum. And I'm going to pop these on, and I'll put maybe some photographs or something in there. Now in this kit, you can do what you want with these These panels, you can cut them down, you can use them as matting panels. You could make greetings cards out of these. Have a look at this without if it didn't have the hidden pocket and it was just that one, that make a beautiful matting panel. You could use them for flips for your Christmas themed journal. There's all sorts of things you could do with those. You could use them as long pockets. You can print them out, cut them, have these as beautiful fussies to go with your journal. Now in this kit, you also get 6 papers that are sympathetic with this. So with the 12 tags, with the 12 big panels that you get here, and the 6 papers, you've got an option to make this and a journal if you want to. You can take it in any direction you want to take it, but this is what I wanted to make with this. It's one of the... Okay, so I've prepped and I think I'm ready to assemble. I'm going to take you through it. Now, if you want to make a folio like this one, you're going to need to reverse print your pages. So page 1 and 12 is reverse printed with page 2 and 11. Page 3 and 10 is reverse printed with page 4 and 9. And page 8 and 5 is reverse printed with page 6 and 7. So when you lay those down in the right way, you will get, let's start again, it will all work out for you. So there's my page 1 and 2. I'm going to turn that way round. There's my page 2. I can pop page 3 next to that. Then I've got page 4, and I can pop page 5 next to that, so that when I fold them together, it will all work consecutively. Now, obviously, print them up before you go cutting them out. And if your printer is slightly out of line, which mine was down one edge, you can just trim down to make any micro adjustments you might need to make. And then I'm going to fold all of these pages together. Not individually, but all together, and hope that I get them lined up nicely. And there we are. So there are my inside pages. I've also prepped, printed out and cut out and made the little holes, and I've reverse printed my tag sheets. There are 2 sheets of those with some aged paper backing because I want to write on the back of these. And I've also prepped and cut out and inked my 12 sentiments and my cover here, the 12 days of Christmas. Now this here, oh, and I've also got these two little pockets. This here is the cover, and the front is printed about the same sort of width as the little booklet to go inside it, and the back is printed wider, and I've done that to allow you to wrap this around when you're finished. And I don't think I'm going to put mine together just yet. I'm going to do what I'm going to do first, and that is I have printed out all of these pages again, not reverse printed them, just single-sided printed them and trimmed them all down, cut them all out individual. Obviously they come like that on the sheet, not those two together, but you know what I mean. And I've just cut them all out. And the reason I want to do that is because I'm going to make ghost pockets throughout in which to house my tags. So let's have a quick look at what I've got planned for that. So for instance, this page here, I've chopped off this section. I'm going to make a ghost pocket to fit over there, and then my tag can slip in there, and each page is going to have its corresponding tag, and I'm going to write something beautiful. This one is going to be for my mum for Christmas, and I'm going to write 12 reasons why I love my mum on the back, one on the back of each tag. So I think I can go ahead now and begin to make my ghost pockets. Now I know that I'm going to have this one here, so I'm just going to run a narrow seam of glue along the edge, along the two square edges like that, and then I'm going to line this up. I'm more concerned with the image lining up than I am with the very edges of the page, so I'm just going to make that happen. There we go, that's pretty good, that's pretty good. And stick that down and make sure I'm not sticking my pages together. I can do, if I've got white space, white edges, I can go in and I can trim down or ink up afterwards. Right, so I'm going to go back to the very beginning now. This is number 1. So let's find my number 1 sheet, there it is, and decide where I'm going to make this pocket. And I think I'm going to make this one down at the bottom. Grab my paper trimmer and just trim down, I think. You can be as complicated or as simple as you want with this. I could do with a new blade in my trimmer. And then I've got a pocket here to glue 3 sides. Let's take my pages separately and then line this up. Again, I'm more concerned with the image than I am with the edges of the paper, but everything should work. Should work pretty well. And I'm not inking up this edge. I want this to be a nice ghost pocket. I want this to be barely visible when the tag is taken out of it. So there it goes, like that. This is going to look really cool. Number 2, I'll find my number 2 panel. See, on this number 7, the one that I've already cut off, I've obviously got a lot of waste here, but I'm going to keep those. So that's a beautiful little Christmas fussy cut right there. Number 2 is on this side of the page, so I might just take a shallow piece off here so I don't interfere with this dove too much, or I could go straight across the top. I'm going to put a new blade in my trimmer. I'll be back with you in a moment. So there we are. I didn't hit record. I've got a lovely sharp blade in my trimmer now. I'm just going to trim this down ever so slightly. And there's my pocket, and I've also kept this dove for a fussy cut for another time, and I've got some nice little bits going on there that I can also use. So obviously this is junk journaling. Even though this is very specific, nothing is going to go to waste. So I'm making a little tuck spot, little ghost tuck spot up at the top here. and lining lining up my image rather than the edges of the paper. And there is a lovely little tuck spot for my number 2 page. And you can see here that I'm going to need to do a little bit of trimming afterwards, but my ghost pockets are looking really, really well. So I'm going to go on to number 3 now. And I think I might do the rest of these off camera. Let's do this one on camera. I'll do the rest off camera. You don't need to see me going through all of these and making my decisions. Now, if you want, of course, you can fussy cut all of this and you can use that as your ghost pocket if you want to. I'm making the decision not to do that because I want to get through this very swiftly. So I'm going to chop this rooster off just below his legs. So that's quite a shallow pocket, but it's going to sit there quite nicely and not interfere with my rooster. So I'm going to stick that one on. And I'm also going to alternate where I put these pockets. I don't want all the tags sitting on in the same place. Throughout the booklet and it getting quite thick. So I can see here I've got this bit overlapping my spine. I'll trim that down. And that's very nice for number 3. For number 4, let's do something quite different. Like I say, I'm not going to do all of these on camera, but I think I might do a few. Not number 4. I've got an idea for something a little bit different. Maybe number 5 that would work for. Let's skip through to number 5. And I think in this one, I'm going to make a belly band, and I can either go across or I can go right the way down. What should we do, folks? Let's go across in the middle. So I'll make use of this piece of holly or poinsettia. How do you say that? Poinsettia. There we go. So I can make a little belly band down the centre of this one. There we are, that's looking great. I'll go and do the rest of them off camera. I'll come back and I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so that's all my pockets on, all my ghost pockets. Let's have a look at those. On page 1, I've gone there. Page 2, I've gone at the top here. Page 3 at the bottom. Page 4, I've gone just underneath the blackbird here. Page 5, I've done a belly band. Page 6, I can't remember. I've gone quite high up in between the goose and the 6. Like I say, if you want a fussy cut around some of these shapes, you go right ahead. Page 7, I've done a tuck spot right up at the very, very top. Page 8, I've got another tuck spot right at the top. Page 9, now I got a bit funny about cutting her hands and feet off and having those exposed at the front here. So I've just gone for a very shallow pocket on that one, and I can still see her face when the tag's there, so I rather like that. Page 10, I've gone up at the top here. Page 11, we're tucking into his sporran right there. And then on page 12, I've done a big long pocket on the side here and included most of this little drummer boy. And I've also trimmed off, I haven't done it on this one, every time I've stuck on, I've had to trim a little bit off. And also you need to bear in mind when you're doing yours, if you're going to take yours in this direction, of course, paying attention to the spines here. So before you commit to gluing, just have a look how your pieces are working, these pieces in the spine, and you may need to trim those down a little bit before you glue. So that's that, and I can now go ahead and I can glue on all of my sentiments. Where's my partridge in a pear tree? Partridge in a pear tree. There we go. I'll glue the first one on and I'll do the rest of them off camera. I'm fairly sure that they're all going to go down at the bottom. Or they may not be able to because I've got tuck spots in the way of some of those. I'll see how it looks. But I've allowed a space down at the bottom here of each page for this to go on. There we go. I'll go ahead and I'll stick the rest of those on and I'll come back. Okay, so I've stuck all of those on, apart from the two that I've got to make some choices about. They've all gone straight down, either on a ghost pocket or on the background page, apart from my 9 ladies leaping, my 9 ladies dancing and my 12 drummers drumming. So if I pop a card in here, let's have a look what would actually look like if I glued that straight down. I could just glue that straight down. That would be okay. That would sit in there. Or I could just pop this. For this one, I think I'm just going to glue this side and see what that looks like. I have considered putting it up at the top there, but I think I want them all down the bottom. I want them all in the same place, seeing as they're mostly down in the same place. And I think if I do that one like that, I'll be all right. I think I'll be all right with that one. This one causes me other issues. But again, I think I'm going to just glue that straight down, all the way down, because I've got so much space up here. It doesn't matter if I lose that little bit of opening space down the bottom. Let's do that. There we are. They're all on. I've got quite a bit of thickness going on at the bottom there. And of course I'm going to have extra thickness when I put my tags in. And I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some eyelets with my crocodile in all of these. So here are all my tags with their little metal eyelets, and I've also popped a bit of ribbon through as well. I've just got one more of those to do. Let's find the end of my ribbon. I did it a minute ago. Look at that, the moment I come back on camera. Okay, so I'm just going to fold a little bit of that over. Cut it. Feed this through, back to front. You can go the other way if you want, doesn't really make a difference. You just get a slightly different look to the fastening bit at the top. Pop your 2 raw ends through the loop. Put it up quite gently, but firmly. And then give a nice angled cut on the top of each of those pieces, and that's those complete. So I am now ready to assemble my actual booklet. Let's get all of this stuff out of the way a little bit. Find my cover, there it is. Make sure I've got everything looking as it should look, with all the pages in the right order, with the numbers for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I can pop all those together. If you want to trim all this down so it's all uniform, go ahead. I'm not going to. I quite like it all being rustic and nice. Right, but this page here I'm going to make sure just sits nicely over everything before I make my fold, which I can do like that. It's just ever so slightly bigger, which is exactly what I wanted it to be. And then I can fold this over, bring it all round, have a nice looking little booklet, and I just want to trim a couple of millimeters off the end here. I'm going to make sure I don't go too far because there's no going back. Just eyeball that couple of millimeters. And pop that in. That looks really, really good. Now we're going to stitch. So to stitch, I'm going to go and get my wool needle, which isn't here. Now I'm going to stitch mine with the same ribbon I've used at the top of my tags. So I'm going to thread that through my wool needle. And I'm not going to do lots of holes. I'm just going to go with 2 because I don't want this ribbon bulking up with backwards and forwards stitches throughout. Now ordinarily I would put this on an open book, but I can't find my open book and I want to crack on. So opening at the middle, there we are. I'm going to make my holes, making sure I've got everything nicely lined up centrally. I've got my bradawl here. I'm going to locate my centre. I really should go and get a book to lean this in. It makes it a lot easier. I'm going to do one hole, I think, fairly close to the top. And I'm going to make the other hole at the same place, roughly at the bottom. And then I'm going to just trust that those 2 holes are enough for everything. I don't know if I've gone all the way through. Let's say that I have. And I'm going to come in from the back on this bottom hole. And I have got all the way through just enough. And wiggle and waggle until I get my ribbon through. And then I'm going to go out through this hole here. There. And then one of the reasons I only wanted 2, like I said, was because let's pull that nice and tight. I didn't want a big bulk of ribbon in this spine. I think this is going to work just fine for me. Also, I don't want to waste any of this ribbon. I'm just going to take off my wool needle and put that safe because they go missing. And what I want to do here is make some dangles. So I'm going to tie off this ribbon here. Make sure it's nice and tight in the middle. First of all, tie it off right at the top in a double. And then I'm going to make a couple of dangles, quite short. I might tie a bow in there. This is for my mum, and she does like ribbons and bows and such like. So I'll make a nice little bow here. Not too big. I'll just tweak and twiddle with this a little bit so that it looks really pretty. There we are. That's it. And then I can cut off this piece here. And over here somewhere, there's one. And cut that off there. I was fiddling about with that off camera. And over here are a couple of little bits that I've got left over from my jewellery making days. So I'm going to pop these on. And I think I'm going to have a bit of a go at threading that through there. It's really quite tricky. Quite a small hole. Oh, I've done it, look at that. And then I'm just going to tie a little knot. Oh, decide how long I want these dangles first. I don't want them to come all the way down. That'll do for that one. So I'll just tie a knot in there, maybe 2, just to keep that on the end. Thankfully it's quite a small hole, so it's not going to go through 1 knot, I don't think. Can I do that? Just 1 knot? Yeah, and I'll just trim that end off. And there's one of my little dangles there. And the same with the other one. Should I have that one longer or shorter? Let's have it longer. So I'll thread my little end of ribbon through. Make a mental note to make an eye test appointment. And I was going to go longer, wasn't I, with this one? So let's look at maybe about there. And tie my knot. I might need 2 knots for this one. The hole's a little bit bigger. That might be right. Oh no, it isn't. Look, it's slid right off. Go back there. Let's get another knot. I mean, if my mum was making this, she would hem and edge and sew. She's a real fabric person. She loves her textiles and her patchwork, my mum. She's very neat and tidy with it as well, very patient. I'm a little bit more gung-ho. There we go. There is the finished book. I'm going to stick this bit on the front now, and I'm also going to make a closure. So I'm going to pop this on. I'm going to leave this like a pocket. I haven't got anything to put in it at the moment, but I might cut out a little fussy from one of the many bits that we've got left over from making the ghost pockets. And I could stick something in there, couldn't I? Or another little message. 12 days of Christmas, 12 reasons why I love my mum. I'm sure I've got more than 12. Right, and this bit is going to be the closure. I'm going to get my corner rounderer and round off these corners. And I thought what I might do here, I could have gone ribbon, which would have been a very nice thing to do. But I can also go magnet, and I blooming love a magnet. So I'm just going to bring that to where I think I want it to be, which is kind of like there-ish. Oh, let's put my tags back in so I know how much room it's going to take up. I'm going to put these in the right order. Oh, I've been waiting a long time to do this. This is gorgeous. So, all the reasons why I love my mum. Not all of 12 of them. Number 2. Now this tag obviously is either going to have to go in upside down. I think I'll pop it in upside down. Why not? Number 3 goes in there. Number 4. Where are you? Number 4. Come on in, number 4. Your time is up. 4 calling birds. When I was making this, I had to go and look at the tradition and the meaning of all of this rhyme. And 4 calling birds apparently were most likely to be blackbirds. So there you go. I got that right for you. I made them blackbirds. Number 5, can't even see. Oh, it's a belly band, isn't it? Look. Number 6 is there. Number 7 is a tuck spot up at the top. Might pop him in that way round. I can go that way round. It will go. It's not that it won't go. There we go, but I'm going to pop him in upside down. Number 8, same thing again, upside down. Come on. Number 9 is right down at the bottom here. Now, as it turns out, because I'm putting these upside down, all my bulk is sitting in the middle here because my eyelets are all kind of meeting in the middle. Look, the upside down ones and the right way round ones. So maybe I'll pop these in the right way round after all. Just to reduce the bulk in the middle. Number 12, I don't know why I've got 2 left. And number 11, come on in number 11, your time is up. And number 10, Lords are Leaping. This is absolutely one of my favourite kits, you know. I just love these images, really, really love them. And I'm really excited, I think you can probably tell, to get this finished so I can see it. Because when I'm designing things, I do it all in my head and I can see it all in my head, but to actually see it finished is really, really lovely. Obviously, I've got this bulk in the middle here because I've used eyelets and I've got 12 of those going throughout there. But I'm happy with that, that's fine. So I'm going to pop this closure on now. I'm going to bring that round and I'm going to glue this side in place right now. So I'm going to glue down all of the back. And I'm going to give it time to grab. I like that look that I've got a bit of, I always go for this. I use this technique quite often for these kinds of things. I enjoy that kind of closure. I'm just going to let that grab. And I'm going to go and find my magnets. Found my magnets. I love these little guys. They're self-adhesive, and the self-adhesive is really good as well. If you go down this route, oh, they're gorgeous. They're only like 3/4 of a millimetre thick. They're just lovely and they're very strong. If you go down this route and you get self-adhesive ones, you have to make sure that you get both north polarity and south polarity magnets, because obviously you can't flip them over because one side is adhesive. So take one north and one south and stick one down. Just double check that everything's where you want it to be. Take off the other side of the magnet, bring this round and close, and give that adhesive a little while to grab, and when you first take your magnets apart, do it very gently. There we are. And people often cover up their magnets, which I traditionally do as well, but I'm fine. It's a magnet. It's a little bit of metal. It's grand. I like it. I like it where it is, and I bet you these stick to that as well. Yeah, they do. Look at that. So there we go. That is my little 12 Days of Christmas book and reasons I love my mum finished. Let's have a look through it. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. I'm going to spare you the whole poem because it gets quite long, doesn't it? Number 2, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, 4 calling birds, which I established were most likely not magpies, the other things, blackbirds, 5 golden rings, 6 geese are laying. I like that nice deep pocket. 7 swans are swimming. 8 maids are milking. My mum will like that one. She was a farmer and she used to make cheese when she was young. 9 ladies dancing. 10 lords are leaping. 11 pipers piping. 12 drummers drumming. And there we are. And each of these tags will have a reason why I love my mum. And number 12, I know, is going to say, because it's going to get quite emotional in there. It'll get quite emotional in there. And the last one is simply going to say cheese pudding. Because if you have never had my mum's cheese pudding, I feel very, very sorry for you. I hope that you've enjoyed that, and I hope you'll take that forwards and really enjoy it and do what you like with it. Have fun. Bye for now.